everybody. Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got Somm wine for you. This is the 2022 Serio e Battista Borgogno. This is a Langhe Nebbiolo from Piedmont in the north of Italy and part of the June Somm Wine Club box. Now, the name Borgogno may sound familiar to you, and that's because there's not one, not two, not even three, but four different Barolo producers that have the last name Borgogno. They're not related in modern times, but I mean, probably at some point, if you go back far enough, they do share a common ancestor or relative of some kind. But they are all separate companies producing separate wines with separate holdings. This is Serio e Battista Borgogno, or Fratelli Borgogno, the brothers Borgogno. They are based in Canubi, which is maybe the most famous cru of Barolo. It's the hill just to the north of the town, and the winery for Fratelli Borgogno is right on the top of the hill of Canubi. So it is visible from basically everywhere around as you're looking up the hill to this incredible piece of property over top of the town of Barolo. And they've been there since 1897. That's when Francesco Borgogno started the winery that was then given to his nephew, who then passed it down to his sons, who were Serio and Battista. Currently, it's the fourth and fifth generations of this branch of the Borgogno family that runs the winery, Anna and Paola, and their daughters, Federica and Emanuela. And they are pretty traditional in terms of style-wise. They're not part of this new wave of Barolo using barriques and new oak and really kind of going for a more modern and, I don't want to say juicy style of Barolo, which, I mean, nothing wrong with. I love all of these. I love the variations and the kind of intricacies that you can coax out of Barolo and out of Nebbiolo in various forms, but they're definitely a little bit more on the traditional side. So their Barolos are all done in large Slavonian oak. This is their Langhe Nebbiolo, which is coming from two of their properties, one in Albarella, which is in the town, the commune of Barolo, just across the road from the hill of Canubi, and then one in Diano d'Alba, which is just to the northeast. And it's blending these two parcels of land together in varying quantities depending on the vintage that gives them their Langhe Nebbiolo expression. Langhe Nebbiolo uses exactly the same grape variety as Barolo and Barbaresco, but from declassified or outside of the commune crus or vineyards, and typically is more approachable, a little juicier, brighter, easier to drink when young, and price-wise also significantly more approachable for everyday drinking. This is a great, fantastic wine that gives you all of the pleasure of drinking Nebbiolo without the empty out your wallets kind of pain that comes with it from Barolo and Barbaresco sometimes. But let's taste it and see. I didn't even actually have to get the glass all the way to my nose before I could smell it. I got to about here and I can already smell all of this really pretty lifted red fruit. So lots of red cherry, raspberry, like red currant, tangy, kind of tart red fruit. There is some warmth and juiciness behind this as well. Like you smell the fruit and it's all red berried, but it's not like underripe red berries. It's definitely fresh, ripe, juicy red fruit. There's really pretty floral notes and earthy notes, like someone's been planting flowers in a garden. There's a touch of herbaceousness, like a little bit spring herbs, like wild onion or like green, fresh, grassy herb, but subtle. And then it's kind of like, the word I want to use is petrichor, but that's a wine person's word that normal people don't actually use in conversation. Petrichor is the smell of the earth after it rains. So like the smell that's in the air when all of the molecules from the soil and the pavement get kind of tossed up into the air after it rains and it's starting to dry out. It kind of it's a very distinctive aromatic character that I get sometimes in aromatic reds of northern Italy. Now, this is the part of Nebbiolo that I personally love, that I know a lot of wine people love, but that I think is maybe not confusing, but startling to people who are not familiar with the variety. You look at the color, and it is fairly pale. This is a pale ruby color. It's got a little bit of bricking or kind of orange at the rim, which, even though this is a 2022 and is quite young, that's really common for Nebbiolo. It kind of gets that orangey rim really young and really quick. So you think that with the pretty red fruit, the floral character, the earthiness, the light color, this is going to be a light wine. And it's not. It's quite the opposite. It's quite structured. It has a ton of acidity. It just really pops in your mouth. It's got intensity of flavor, and it's also got tannin, and it grips. Nebbiolo has a surprising amount of tannin for how much color and intensity that you get out of the actual grapes itself. So this lingers, it grips. You get that drying feeling. Your whole tongue just kind of, the moisture just gets sucked out of it. And what you're left with is that kind of lingering, subtle bitterness that comes generally with fuller bodied red wines, big dense wines with lots of fruit and lots of alcohol. This is 14.5, which I mean I guess is indicative of the vintage for 2022, but it also doesn't taste like a big broad dense wine. It has this incredible tension and balance and elegance, which is, like I said, part of the magic of Nebbiolo as a grape variety and Piedmont as a region. So how do you use a wine like that when it comes to food? Well, this has lots of acid and lots of tannin, two of the most important things for food and wine pairing, but then it also has a ton of aromatics and a ton of complexity and structure. So flexibility wise, it's very useful for high fat dishes. So thinking things like duck breast is amazing. You can do like really rich, kind of cheesy, fatty mushrooms. So if you're doing like a mushroom pasta with a cream sauce, that's really great here. I love playing off of the kind of foresty, earthy nature of the wine with like fresh spring vegetables, especially wild, like things like fiddleheads, or I mean, heck, if you want to go for it, you're saving on the wine, so you can get some truffle. Spring truffles are great with Nebbiolo. That's like classic pairing. This Alba truffles from Piedmont and Nebbiolo are kind of like a match made in heaven. There's so many things that you can do. Rabbit, pork, sausages, barbecue. You can take this wine outdoor dining, indoor dining. It's remarkably useful if, as long as you play with that fat and that acidity and that tannin. You have to kind of be mindful of that. So don't be doing this with a light fish. Just saying. There's no rules in food and wine pairing, but there's a couple of rules. Yeah, maybe not for white fish, but almost anything else, especially in this kind of weird June weather where it could be cool, it could be warm, you've got the furnace on, you don't, who knows right now. So there's your flexible wine for whatever day of the week and whatever time the weather appeals to you to crack this bottle open. It's so pretty. I'm just going to go back and keep smelling it. Camera's going to stop rolling, and I'm just going to come back here and finish drinking my wine. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the Fratelli Borgogno that we have in the June Somm Wine Club box. Let me know in the comments if you've had other Borgogno wines from Fratelli Borgogno or the other Borgognos, or what you think of Nebbiolo and Langhe Nebbiolo, Barolo, Barbaresco, Piedmont. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks very much. We'll see you guys next time.